Here's the seawater that I collected, and I have an empty half-liter bottle, which is 16.9 fluid ounces. So I'm going to use this for a measuring device. I'm going to take the seawater, put it in here, going to fill it up, because at least if we have some kind of standard, we'll know what we're dealing with. All right. So that's a half-liter of water. I'm going to fill it up in this 3-cup dog bowl. The reason I'm using a dog bowl is I don't want to use one of my good pots. So I'm going to use this instead. So there it goes. It's just about full. So I'm going to boil it until all the water is boiled out of it. There's a little bit of sand in there, so it might have been good to filter it out a little bit, but it's pretty insignificant. All right, it's time to let it boil and let all the water evaporate, and we'll be left with just a tiny amount of sand, but definitely salt. Having salt changes everything in a survival situation. You now have a means for some sort of electrolytes. You can add just a touch to water to keep your electrolytes up. You have a method of preserving food. A lot of people have salted meats and kept them from spoiling. And the other part is maybe you collect enough salt where you make a salt lick and attract animals. So that increases your food supply and your ability to get food. That's more long term, but if you have a resource like that, if you're by the ocean, why not? That's a pretty good boil going on. So sometimes with a flat stick I can take out some of the charcoal that flies in, the ashes, but you can see the white stuff along the edges. That's the actual salt. All right, we're getting close to the end. It's almost like maple syrup. When it's close to the end, you got to make sure you take it off at the right time. I don't want to burn the container, so I'll take that off as soon as all the water's out. Well, here's the salt after it's boiled down. I take a beveled stick. This is a piece of cedar, a branch that I cut off, and it's time to scrape it. I want to weigh how much salt we actually have. There's some good stuff up here. So I'm going to scrape it until I get everything out. Okay, so there's a bunch of salt there. I'm going to wait and see how much we have. Here's a method I like to use. I like to fold a plate in half and then fold it in half again. That way I can have controlled pouring or distribution of the salt once I'm done. So let's see how much we got here. Scrape out the rest. Everything must go. Okay. I'm going to tear it. Okay. And now to weigh it. 5/8 of an ounce or 16 grams. And there it is. That's our final product. 16 grams of salt. That's pretty good. And I'll try a little bit. Definitely salty, so that's great. So that's a decent amount of salt from a 16.9 ounce, 500 milliliter bottle. So I actually saw a video recently. It was a British bushcrafter. He took salt and he dumped it in a hole in the ocean. He was going for razor clams, and he'd put a decent amount of salt in there. It almost looks like about this much. Then he would like put his finger in there to push it down. Then the razor clam would come up. Then he'd grab it slowly and carefully, and he'd forage off the seashore like that. So if you're going to have an all-night fire because you have to stay warm, why not boil off some seawater, make some salt, so you can use that salt for something else? So it's not really any extra effort to do that. If you were going to actually boil seawater just for that purpose, it's a lot of effort and wood to do that. But if you got a fire going anyway, put it to good use. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your views.